Hi guys. I'm gonna move this over here. Um, I have such a hard time doing videos when it's just about me and I'm not like throwing cards or talking about astrology or something like that. So forgive me if I'm really fidgety and antsy. If I don't look directly in the camera, it's just weird. It's just weird. Anyway, um, I need to get over that, I think. And I think it's because it's just it's personal, it's like such a, I'm like sharing a part of myself and a part of my life with a lot of people, and I've done that for a really long time, like I've had my YouTube channel for 7 years, um and so it kind of gets to that point to where, like, how much do I share, what do I want to share, who do I want to share it with, things like that. So but I did want to update, and I'll be putting this video up on like all my socials probably. So YouTube and Twitter, Instagram, you may see it a couple times. I don't know. Um, I'm also going to put up my Sagittarius new moon video because that energy is loud right now, like real loud. About really showing up for yourself and really, like, when the opportunities are showing up, like really doing the work and, head on and really like allowing yourself that. So, um, before I get started with the health updates, we are kind of in this really weird limbo when it comes to getting like public assistance. And we've had a hard time getting public assistance, and that just is not a struggle that and I, neither one of us. It's too stressful. I think that adds like stress on us that we don't need to have right now. And there's help with that coming soon. Like, we're gonna get some help with being able to talk to people soon, but it's not something that we can really control. Like, we have no control over the fact that the state of New York doesn't want to give us any kind of public assistance. So I'm lucky that I have Medicaid. Like, that's really good because that means that that stuff is taken care of. My health stuff is taken care of. Meanwhile, I am offering a reading right now, just one reading. It's your 6-month reading, January through June 2025. It's tarot forecast. This one does not include any astrology. I think I'm going to offer the astrology one more towards the end of December and the beginning of January. For those of you that are interested, I'm looking at that. But also on our website, wildloveparadise.org, and I'll put all of this information in the down below, whatever, in the next post or in the description box or whatever. Henry's got some really awesome hoodies up. It's chilly now. We're officially getting closer to winter and no longer in the warm in the northern hemisphere. So there are hoodies up there, and there's also some diamond paintings and butterflies and just some little artsy things that I've done to put up. If you want to show your support that way, that would be awesome. Or you can donate to the foundation as well. That will go directly towards helping us with some bills that we have to pay that we're trying not to stress out about paying. So, but yeah, all of that information is below. And I think that that's what I wanted to say about assistance, because people ask me all the time. I'm thinking about putting together like an Amazon wish list too, because people ask me that all the time as well. But anyway, um, this is my full-time job, and I wish that I could work full-time. Like, I wish that I had the energy to work full-time. I wish that I could just do that, and I just don't right now. So hopefully in the coming year, I'll be able to have more energy to work full-time again. But I'm just grateful that I can do what I'm doing now. And I love doing my 6-month reading. It's a favorite of all of my returning clients. One of my most accurate and really the only forecast reading I do. Like, I don't typically do like future, let me tell you your future. I don't normally do that. We talk a lot about being present. So this is the only future reading that I do, and it's frighteningly accurate sometimes. So, yeah, but all that's in the description box. So, um, the reason why I wanted to do a video with this is because it's such a complicated topic. The diagnosis that I received and just the way that this cancer works, the way that it evolves, the way that it acts is just different. It's like not a tumor. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. It's Henry's laughing. Um, it's a bone marrow cancer. It's a blood cancer. It affects my bone marrow and it affects my blood. And that in turn affects my organs, and it can produce this diagnosis that I received 3 years ago. Can also create other cancers in my body, which is kind of we're sort of like on that threshold of having to really do like the heavy cancer screenings for other parts of my body. There's scares in certain areas that we have to get more exams done, and just, things like that. Like, this is like this is just so, it's just really obnoxious, and it takes a lot of energy. And I know that I'm not like at my worst with this. But I try not to measure myself. It's not a competition, right? It's like not a competition of how bad I feel compared to other people who either have the same disease or have another cancer, right? Like, it doesn't matter. I feel the way that I feel the way that I feel, and that's the way that it is. Um, I am I know that I'm supposed to be here because the health management and my doctors are amazing. Like, they've been incredible. And they are listening and they're being supportive. And this new doctor, so the gene mutation was not showing up in my blood work. And so I had to do another bone marrow biopsy last week, and it's actually a week. Yeah, it's been like a week and a half. Second one, they're not fun. They're horrible. And we were really, I had my expectations way too high. This oncologist is really good about managing my expectations, but I personally had my expectations way too high, and we just found out that the mutation is still there in the bone marrow. It's just it's not a really big percentage, which is awesome and amazing. I was really hoping that it was just gone anyways, because that's just like one less thing that we would have to fight against. It's great that it's at a really small percentage, um, but it's still there doing enough damage to make me feel unwell and to make me it's still creating the fibrosis in my bone marrow. It doesn't matter at what percentage, it's still happening, right? And so we're still having to deal with the wacky numbers and all of that. And the medication that I've been on for basically 3 years now is no longer working, and really just making me feel worse. So my oncologist is switching me to a different medication. It's a shot that I would take every 2 weeks, which would take away 2 of my medications. So that's the good news. Um, and and yeah, and like, so the side effects of it, it's not like 100% FDA approved yet. He said that it's really close. Sorry, I just like went off on my own little train of thought, or just went blank. But um, so yeah, so other patients have had some positive outcomes with it. And we're hoping that we can at least get my blood stabilized, because I have just this like constant anemia where I have I don't have enough red blood cells, but the red blood cells I do have are really big, and so it's called necrotic anemia. And like it's just weird. Like my blood work is just really, really strange. And it's exhausting. Like my body's working really hard. And so getting two medications that I'm not going to have to digest taken off of my plate is going to be amazing and great and wonderful. I don't know, other than like getting my blood work straightened out. I don't know what else this medication will do. My doctor said that it's very difficult to cure this. I was hoping that it would just be like some miracle. A lot of people are still saying that it's going to be a miracle. And, I try again to manage my expectations with this. And I think everybody who has some sort of disease or their body isn't working properly in some way, I think that they have to absolutely get to a place where they can manage their own expectations, because everybody has opinions about what you are doing with your body. Everybody has opinions, and you really have to be in a good place with yourself to be able to make the decisions that you want to make. And it matters what other people's opinions are, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have to live with yourself, and you're the one that's going to have to live with your body, and you're the one that's going to have to live with all the choices that you're making with it. And so, you know, yeah, managing your expectations, really with everything in life, but especially when it's something that you don't have control over, and it's sort of like has a mind of its own, and there's not really much you can do. I think right now the biggest thing that we are all paying attention to is if it's creating anything else in my body, else in other places, and just getting rid of that as well. Like we might, there's other things that we have to focus on too. So we're doing that, and I have a really great team, and I have a lot of people supporting me, and that's huge. In Kansas City and Colorado, I did not have the nutrition support. Um, and I didn't have I was set up with a social worker, and like I'm getting education, actually being sat down and getting education about the medication that I'm taking. Just overall, like so far, this has been a much different experience than I've had at all in the last 3 years. And I think that in itself, because whether I like it or not, in managing my expectations, I have to be prepared to have this disease in some way, shape, or form for the rest of my existence. That's something I have to be prepared for. Whether or not people want to hear that, that can't be a thing that I'm bothered with. Like, I'm sorry if that bothers you. I'm sorry if you don't like to hear that. I'm sorry if you think that I'm giving up by saying something like that. I'm managing my expectations by saying something like that. That doesn't mean that I'm not done fighting. That doesn't mean that I don't think that miracles can happen. That doesn't mean that whatever. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm giving up. That's kind of, obviously I'm not giving up. I wouldn't have traveled from Kansas City to Colorado and Colorado to New York if I was giving up on myself and giving up on all of this. But I am going to manage my expectations, and that absolutely means that I have to be prepared for every outcome. And I feel like people don't understand what that means sometimes. Like, I'm a very firm believer in that, we live parallel lives. We are multi-dimensional beings. This is not my first go round in this lifetime. In fact, I feel like I've probably already done this before in this lifetime as a parallel existent, another person. and did it completely different. And I have opportunities now that I didn't have opportunities before. I think that there are a lot of ways that this can go, and it is not up to me at this time to decide when, how, or what it's going to look like. However long I'm staying here and doing this and whatever. Like, that's just um it's just not up to my ego. It's just not up to like my human brain, my I am, that person in there. It's not up to me. It's not up to, and the only thing that I can do is live the best existence that I can live with what I have, with what I've been given. So yeah, so still trucking along. I still live with a lot of pain every day. And I try not to complain about that. I still need a lot of assistance in a lot of things, but I try to save my energy for the things that I really want to do and not necessarily the things that I feel like I have to do. And I feel like sometimes that I kind of feel guilty that I live my life that way sometimes, but here I am. Like, I really wanted to put this reading out, but I didn't want to put all of my readings out. I didn't want my availability to be that much. So that's why I, put this out. And, because I still love connecting with people, and I still love being able to do that. So here we are, and it goes to a really good cause. At least I think so. So anyway, so that's the update. This is where we are. We have tons of appointments coming up still. This literally changes every day. Like, the information that I get, my appointments, all those things, like, everything is changing every single day, and there's always new updates. So I'm going to try to do better about keeping everybody updated. I needed to not be on camera for a while we were getting prepared to move from Colorado to here. I just needed to not be out there. So now that I actually feel like I want to talk to people again, I want to like exist in the world again. Um, it's funny because you never really understand or never really know what somebody else is going through. Like, you really just don't. And I think that that's one of the things that we've sort of lost as humanity. I'm going to wrap this up. I know I've been talking for a while, but I think that that's kind of one of the things that we've lost as humanity, is just the um like, remembering that we're not in a vacuum, that we're not like the only person in the room, and we're not the only person that's having to deal with things. And I appreciate the people in my life that bring perspective to me and allow me to see this existence in different ways, so that I'm not like kidding myself. And I'm also not um belittling myself, or I'm not taking away from what I still have, right? Because uh, when it's a full-time job to get healthy again, or to try and stay healthy, or to get back to a place where you want to be in a certain way, when that's a full-time job, it's the focus is different. Your focus is completely different. So I love you guys, and I really appreciate all of the support that everybody gives this way. And, even if it's a prayer or a retweet or whatever, um, I guess I'm doing this for a while. Like, I kind of got my expectations up a little bit. I had to cry like hardcore before I even did this video. Because it just gets heavy. Like, it's a heavy topic. Henry and I live in this like thick heaviness sometimes, and it's just gross and hard and sludgy. It feels like mud and muck. So, it's things can always feel better, right? Things can always feel better. So I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.